Saturday, June 6th, Good News Day. Oh, all these developments. Today, the protests in Washington were magnificent. Oh, just see the footage of thousands and thousands and thousands of people marching in Washington peacefully. And the mayor of Washington, D.C. renamed the park in front of the White House, or the street leading to the park in front of the White House, Black Lives Matter Plaza, and emblazoned with enormous yellow letters that actually somebody, I guess, I don't know, the space station or one of the satellites was able to photograph it from space. It's visible from space. Black Lives Matter. How magnificent. And then Trump has added an additional fence barrier. So he got his wall around the White House, which makes this president so irrelevant. He is just spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. And I heard that he tweeted like 100 and some odd times, but they weren't even printing his tweets in the news channels because he's becoming irrelevant. Sad because there should be a president that does something that people want to listen to and follow. He's got his core supporters, but pretty much he's done. On the Dallas front, curfew was lifted tonight, so there's no more curfew. So I'm a free man. Yay! I'm still not going to go out. It's Saturday night. I'm still not going to go out. Our Dallas police chief, that poor woman just keeps digging herself a bigger grave every time she speaks because she keeps contradicting herself and she's getting called out on it. So we had the incident here in Dallas where the protesters got caught in a trap by the police on the Margaret Hunt Bridge. And I talked about it the other day, but basically they were peacefully protesting. They were not in the curfew zone. They were guided towards the bridge and they were met by the police blocking the bridge. So they couldn't continue crossing the bridge. And then they shot at them, put smoke stuff out, and then arrested them. And of course, the county commissioner intervened and said, no. Well, so the police chief, the following day or 2 days later, or whatever it was, she's made a statement. There was only 200 to 300 protesters. But then the word came out today that she actually arrested 647 people. Of course, she had to let him go because she was ordered to let him go. But she bold-faced lied. She said, it was only about 200 to 300 people on that bridge, 647 arrests off that bridge. Which is it? So in the city council, emergency city council meeting that they had, there was a massive call for her resignation because she's obviously mishandled this entire thing. And again, she sounds great on camera, but now she's getting caught with all these inconsistencies. You know, I mentioned that when I saw the footage, it did not look 200 to 300 people, closer to 400 to 500 people. I was even wrong. It was a bigger crowd than that. Yeah. So that's the news on that front. Other good news, sounds really weird, but I've had a roommate all this time, but of course I've never mentioned him because he hasn't been living with me. He moved in December. Well, technically moved in January. But he was here for the first 3 months. But then this whole COVID-19 happened, and his daughter is actually with custody of his mom. Long story as to why that happened that way. But he gets to visit her as frequently as he wants. But because school got canceled out, his mother was a nurse. She was going to have to go back to work. They needed the childcare. So he basically moved back home. And he now is actually living with his brother, who has kids, also were without school. So Chase, which is my roommate, ended up having basically at the end of March go and stay with his family. So I've not really seen him but once in all this time. So basically he's not been here, but all of his stuff was here. And we basically said we'd give it like a 6-month tryout, of having roommates, because I hadn't had a roommate in ages. And of course, at the end of May, it was like, well, he basically moved in December. He brought his stuff in the first part of January. So it'd been 6 months. And, it was time for us to go separate ways because he's now not even living here. So he picked up his stuff, which is great because all of a sudden my living room, because he said he only had a few pieces of furniture. He had a lot of furniture. So my home had become a warehouse. So it's still cluttered with a lot of stuff from having lots of theater props, like you can always tell by the table behind me. But I have these bookshelves, and that's my little office area over there, dining room. But you could barely walk over there because it was littered with furniture all the way. And so now it's all clear. I can actually walk around my coffee table. So just to have the space back is great. Love him dearly. We're remaining good friends. But it's just kind of nice to have my own space back. So I try to put this phone back and I block the camera. Anyway, so, little miscellaneous things happened today. All good news, which I kind of needed a good news day. So, yay. And anyhow, that's it for tonight. May you have like, subscribe, ring the notification bell. If you see more than 2 of these videos, please subscribe. It helps me out. And give it a like on the video on YouTube. That helps me too. So go ahead and do that, and then have a good evening. If you watch this tomorrow during the day or in the morning or in the afternoon, have a good morning, good afternoon. And I'm signing off. This is a short video tonight. Yay!